Welcome everybody to the 80s Archives. We are talking about the 1985 film Real Genius, directed by Martha Coolidge, who also directed Valley Girl. The film runs approximately 1 hour and 48 minutes, starring Val Kilmer as Chris Knight, Gabriel Jarrett as Mitch Taylor, William Atherton as Jerry, and John Grice as Holyfield. So, start off with the film as we have Ed Lauder, who always plays assholes in movies. I don't know why, he just does. He is with this group. They are trying to develop this laser that can instantly evaporate something, someone, or something at any point in time with no effort. It's not getting too far into it, but Kent is one of the residents at the school, another considered genius. It's plotted with Jerry to work on this laser and make sure that this laser is ready to go, as Jerry's students are just not finding ways to get it done. They're having a little bit of problems with it, so they've got to find some students to help. Let's just put it that way. So Jerry goes to this school and he meets up with Mitch, as Mitch is one of the considered geniuses of his school, even though he's not graduated yet. He approaches him about helping them with the laser to get that laser built, promises him all these things. It says, come to the school of engineers and we will get you where you need to be in life. So Mitch agrees to go to the school reluctantly, but he ends up going to the school and he gets introduced to the school.
Oh, a bit of advice.
Thank you.
Always, never forget to check your references.
Okay. Thank you. I better be going. Whoops, sorry.
I think the young people enjoy it when I get down verbally, don't you?
So Mitch arrives at his room and realizes that he's roomed with Chris Knight, who is one of the top, if not the top geniuses at the school. And he's kind of troublesome. He has parties and stuff and doesn't really take it too seriously, but he is top level genius. So this scene was actually cut out of some of the films, but I would love to have seen this. As he arrives at the school and meets his roommates. So as he gets to know Chris, things start to develop. They become friends and whatnot, and things start to ensue. Goofy stuff happens, stuff you see in the 80s. Just really good, like, gadgets and things, and like coins made out of hydrogen and oxygen, things like that. And really, really cool. I think it's actually made out of nitrogen, but really cool gadgets and gizmos created by the class. And just really fun stuff you see along the way from the students there, as they are really geniuses, really smart. And then they get the task of having to help with this laser that Jerry is having them work on. It's like 4 or 5 of the students are working on it. Meanwhile, they're still having fun with the school. As you can see, they've created snow in the hallways and ice, so people are trying to go down it like it's like an ice rink, which is funny. I loved that scene in the film. I thought that was hilarious. Val Kilmer was really good in this movie. I love this movie. Really iconic role in this. So they start working on the laser, and they start to have a little trouble with it. They can't quite figure out what needs to be done to make the laser work. Like I said, as there's a lot of pressure on Jerry and them to get the laser to work so they can create this for whatever Jerry needs to use it for. But I don't want to go into too many details because there's a plot hole in this, and I don't want to spoil the film. But they start to work on this laser for Jerry. I do want to point out there's some interesting cast members in this film. We have Michelle Meyerink here, who was also Judy in the Revenge of the Nerds films. She was in the first one, and Booger Gets Married. So I could not point that out. As you guys know, that's one of my favorite films of all time. But she plays Jordan in this film, and she was really, really good in this one too. So also, cannot talk about this film without talking about Lazio Holyfield, played by John Grice. He has a really, really important role in the film, but I don't want to get into it. But anyways, moving on here. This film is so much fun. It gets about a 7.5 out of 8 7.5 to 8.5 in IMDb. Again, it's a 1985 classic. Really, really fun movie. The soundtrack was fantastic. You can find such songs as All She Wants to Do Is Dance and Bryan Adams' One Night Love Affair. Just such a good soundtrack. Good-hearted story. It is rated PG. Not a ton of nudity. I don't think there's any, actually, but a fun movie. You could couple this with Revenge of the Nerds. I would say you could put that right with this if you needed to have like our good friends Jason and Joe say, a relatable recommendation. Let me know if you guys have seen Real Genius. What are your thoughts on it? Did you like it? Did you love it? I liked the comedic aspects of it. I love the gadgets, the gizmos throughout the film. I love the relationships that were made in the movie. I thought Val Kilmer was excellent. Almost kind of like a Willy Wonka type role, in my opinion, in this. And just really well acted. If I had to put a qualm on the film, was that it could have been cut down by about 7 to 10 minutes. Other than that, it's like I've said in movies from the 80s, there wasn't a whole lot of options. So an hour and 47-minute film at that time was what you had. And it's a really good movie. Like I said, very heartwarming, a great plot, a really, really fun ending. Let's just say if you like popcorn, popping the popcorn, Katie, you would enjoy this film. Thank you guys for watching 80 Archives. Let me know what you think of Real Genius.